This fire, the first Bet HaMikdash had a fire the shape of a lion, Ali. The fire in the second Bet HaMikdash, Rebutzaki Kelev, was crouched like a dog. Why? Why was it this way? Because the Bet HaMikdash, the second Bet HaMikdash was built by the Persian king, who was a non-Jew. And the Zohar Kadosh says something very scary, that this dog was symbolic of the Sitra Achra, Satan, telling us that because we did not do full Teshuvah, part of the Korban is going to the Satan. Meaning the Bet HaMikdash itself, was not fully for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There was control, partial control by the Satan himself on the Bet HaMikdash. Why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I didn't destroy the bricks and stones just for you to rebuild them without doing Teshuvah. And I didn't do it just for partial Teshuvah. I want full Teshuvah. And that's what Rabotai Yekarim is what we're here to say. We need full Teshuvah, not partial Teshuvah. It's good, it's a good start. But if you think that you continue with partial Teshuvah, you're making a very big mistake. And the reason why is because somebody that knowingly sins, meaning he has gone to the point where he says, listen, I keep Shabbat, I keep Tahat Mishpacha, I keep kosher, I keep this, I keep that, I keep all these different things. But this one particular thing, I'm not going to do it. That thing, not that it's hard for me and I'm struggling with it. No, not that. I'm going to try to do it, but I'm just failing. No. This, I'm just not going to do it. It's not for me. Like he decides that this is not something he's going to do. He's not going to learn Torah every day, even though Torah commands it. He's not going to watch his bleed, even though Torah says to do it. He's not going to do something Torah says to do it. He said, no, this is too much for me. And he decides actively that this is not what he's going to do. Rabotai, the Rambam writes, such a person is a kofer gamur, you cannot count him in minyan. The Rambam writes something very interesting. In chapter 3, Halakha number 4, he writes, when a Jew is a kofer, apostate, worships false deities, or desecrates Shabbat in public, we do not accept any sacrifices from him at all. Even a burnt offering that is accepted from a goy, from a Gentile, is not accepted from an apostate or a mechalel Shabbat, as we learn from Leviticus 1:2, which states, "Man from you who will sacrifice." According to the oral tradition, we learn that from you is not from all of you. It excludes the apostate, it excludes the mechalel Shabbat. But here the Rambam says something very interesting. He says, listen, if you believe in other gods, or you violate Shabbat, the Korban is not accepted. Wait, somebody prays to, let's say, J.C. Penney, or prays to a rabbi, or prays to, I don't know, a picture. He's the same thing as somebody that drives on Shabbat? How could this be? How could this be? The guy's praying to somebody, okay, fine, I understand why he's not existing. Why is the guy that's driving to shul on Shabbat, why is the problem with him? So, the Rambam explains in Ilchot Shabbat that someone that violates Shabbat is equivalent 100% to an idol worshiper. Because the idol worshiper and him are both desecrating Hashem's name, because Shabbat is the cornerstone of the Jewish faith, just like believing in Hashem is. I am the man who has seen affliction by the rod of his anger. He says, I am the man who saw the worst things in the world. From here we see that Jeremiah was there witnessing all of this. He wasn't just prophesying of the future, what could be. He literally witnessed people dying in the streets, millions of them. He has placed me in darkness like the eternally dead. He has walled me in so I cannot escape. So what happened when Jeremiah tried to rebuke people? I've become a laughing stock to all my people, object of their jibes all day long. When he tried to tell people the truth, he tried to tell people to keep Shabbat, he tried telling people to do good things, get closer to Hashem so bad things stop. Because there was so many Reshaim, so many wicked speakers, so many fakers that call themselves prophets, it was very hard for people to say, wait a minute, so you're telling me you're one guy that says the truth, but there's 500 that are lying? More likely it's 500 that are telling the truth and you're the liar. And this is just a bad season, it's just bad weather, it's just bad luck, it's just bad this, it's just bad, it's not Hashem, it's something else. Because we understand Hashem. Hashem understands us, He knows that we can't do it. He says I've become a laughing stock. They make fun of him in public when he tried to tell them the truth. So what happens when this happens? Jeremiah tells them, you're forgetting that Hashem is Hashem and not just some person. In verse number 37 he says, מי זה אמר ותהי אדוני לא ציווה, מפי עליון לא תצא הרעות והטוב. מה יתונן אדם חי גבר על חטאו, נחפשה נדרכנו ונחקורה ונשובה עד אדוני. It says, whose decree was ever fulfilled unless the Lord ordained it? Is it not from the mouth of the Most High that evil and good emanate? Of what shall a living man complain? A strong man for his sins. Let us search and examine our ways and return to Hashem. He says all of the stuff that's happening, everything is coming from Hashem. Don't ever think anything that's happening in the world is coming from somewhere else. Whoever said something and did the opposite of what Hashem wants without Hashem allowing it to happen. Meaning anything and everything that happens in the world, Hashem signs off on it. You want to make a sin, Hashem will allow you to do it. You want to make a mitzvah, Hashem will allow you to do it. There's a hurricane, it's Hashem. There's a financial crisis, it's Hashem. There's cancer, it's Hashem. That's what Prophet Jeremiah says. Where was God during the Holocaust? It's Hashem. Choban Beit HaMikdash, Hashem. Everything is Hashem. That's what Jeremiah is saying. Instead of complaining, he says, what are you complaining about? You should only complain about your own sins, he says. Let's search and examine our ways and return to Hashem. All of these bad things are only happening because we're disconnected from Hashem.
I've heard enough. New arrival screams echoing through the hallway to know that this ain't good. Once they pass them through the infierno, they don't come back. It's enough to make you go crazy.
Do not think we fear you, Spirit. We know your power is born of evil. This is your last night in the land of the living. You understand me, malevolent demon?
possesses the cure you seek. Go within. Just know, once you cross that threshold, there is only one way out.
There was a rich family that lived here called the Hetheringtons, and unfortunately, their daughter passed away of a heart attack inside the house. Basically, they were so devastated that they reached out to people claiming to be psychic mediums. They actually weren't psychic mediums. They opened up a total of 11 portals inside this house and invited spirits and entities from all different kinds of dimensions.
Well, I think there are certain pieces of evidence that there is an afterlife.
Resurrection of the dead is affirmed pretty clearly in the Talmud and the Midrash.
To be honest with you, to give this lecture is a nightmare. If it was up to me, I wouldn't do it. There's gonna be some graphic details.
This place is a maze.
The person after death went to a place called Sheol.
This is by far the largest near-death experience study that has ever been conducted.
People go to a place and they experience weird things. And sometimes they actually will see a character of some type. Well, where did that come from?
I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there.
They may describe feeling profoundly peaceful, seeing a bright, warm, welcoming light. Some people describe watching doctors and nurses working on them with incredible accuracy.
Next thing I knew, I was above my body watching the operation.
How long did you feel like you were gone?
I went to a place of timelessness. And so what that means, it could have been a second, could have been 5 minutes. I don't know.
Can you imagine waking up from your sleep and not being able to move?
As I'm lying there, I realized that there's an evil presence next to me.
Do you believe that angels, demons exist?
Holy shit, dude, get out of here! Oh my god, dude!
Strange things keep happening. Bizarre nightmares, as if I'm on fire.
Whoa, what the hell is this? Man, I've got bad chest pain.
Satan's Hollow is what it's called, the portal to hell.
Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up.
And the next thing I know, I was outside of my body, looking at my body.
What I'm going to do is called claromancy, the art of throwing lots or throwing bones.
2,000 years of experience, passed down, recorded, of how demons work.
God has them all on a leash, and he lets the leash go enough to let them tempt us, because that's what makes us spiritually stronger.
I'm trying to be as graphic as possible so you understand what we're talking about.
It's your ticket to reality. It's your ticket to freedom. It's your ticket to immortality.
Is there an afterlife? Is there a
It's
God?
the type of information that can keep you away from the Yitzhak.
What happens to us after we die?